Rant incoming. Greetings, Ravens. Cleric here. Seems to be there a decent number of Armored Core fans out there who feel we're entering a dark time in AC. With the announcement of Night Rain and the very recent announcement of Duskbloods, the re-release of Gen 1 AC on PSN, and the most recent AC6 patch being a giant nothing patch essentially, we have seen the re-emergence of a very particular viewpoint on social media and YouTube comments. Take a look at this. I'm okay with no more soul slop in my Armored Core. Didn't care about the patch anyways, uninstalled the game months ago. Then why are you bothering making a comment on a YouTube video about Armored Core 6? You uninstalled the game and don't care. Why do you care enough to make a comment on the video? Doesn't make any sense. Rum just needs to go back to making good AC games, like Answer. If they would just add turn speed, the game would be so much better. Look, turn speed is not the fix-all for this game. If you just took Armored Core 6 and put turn speed into it, it would just be worse. Turn speed is not everything. Armored Core is more than turn speed. Stop already! I miss when AC was good. AC6 is AC for babies. Gotta make new product for new players to consume. Good. Another Soulsborne announcement. Maybe From will make an actual AC game now. Catering to Souls kiddies ruined AC. Soulsborne fans coming in with 6 not realizing they didn't really play Armored Core. AC6 is AC for normies. If new players want to play real Armored Core, they should play LR. All these people who love Armored Core 6 are just Souls fans pretending to love the game because From made it. We need to find a way to keep the Soulsborne stands out. They are the worst. None of these new fans are actually any good at AC. Watching all these new Gen fans playing Gen 1 is hilarious. They are so bad. Going into Gen 1 streams and trolling was not on my bingo card for things I would love to do in 2025. There is sadly a whole lot more than where that came from, but I didn't want to spend too much time adding too many things in this video. I did not need this video being 30 minutes long. That being said, I will probably end up working on a video at some point in the future about the whole A66 is actually a Souls-like thing, which I keep seeing thrown around. That's for a later time though. For now, I want to focus on 2 specific problems for this video. Problem number 1, gatekeepers. A little background to explain the context of this problem. My time with Armored Core goes way back, like PlayStation 1 demo disc back, like ask my friends to come over and play the versus mode on said demo disc back. We're talking, I beat 9-ball for the first time back in 1997 kind of back. So I've been a fan of the series since its initial release here in the US. I owned and beat all the games through the series up until, say, this point. I'm going to talk about specifically is up through another Armored Core 2 Another Age. And then my dad got a new job and our family had to move and I had to change schools. So I started at a new school my sophomore year of high school. And that is where I met this man. To understand the significance of this meeting, let me break down the first time that we sat at the same lunch table. Hey, I'm Steven. Hey man, good to meet you. I'm Ian. I'm new this year, so just starting to get to know everyone. Oh, hey man, me too. That's also my first year. Oh, cool. Looks like I sat at a good table then. We then proceed to chat and other people will join our table eventually, and there are more introductions and we start sharing our hobbies and what we enjoy doing. And I asked Ian this very fateful question. So, hey, what you doing after school? Not much. Probably going to tool around my AC more Another Age. As I slowly tilt my head. Another Age? Armored Core? He then tilts his head, looking at me. You know Armored Core? Are you a fan too? My expression goes wide-eyed. I lean back. My voice goes up a whole octave. Dude, it's my favorite series. He opens up his mouth on a really wide grin and goes, dude, it's my favorite series. And thus, a beautiful friendship was born. One that has lasted to this very day, by the way. No, seriously, Zealous was the best man at my wedding. I was just recently the best man at his wedding. Seriously, Zealous, or Ian, is an awesome dude. He's a drum streamer, by the way. He streams on Twitch doing drumming. He's insanely and stupidly talented. I would highly recommend checking him out. All right, so the reason I bring this up is that this kind of introduction this way is that when Zealous told me that he knew what Armored Core was, and not only that, he was an Armored Core fan, he was the first person that I had ever met that was an Armored Core fan or played Armored Core that I did not personally introduce to the series. I had some other people I had met before, some other people I had introduced to the game before I moved, that I showed, here's Armored Core, I'll take a look at it and played with them, but no one ever knew what I was talking about before I mentioned the name Armored Core. First person I ever met who actually understood or even knew what I meant when I said Armored Core, and not only that, he was also a super fan like me. Well, then he tells me, like, hey, I found about this Midwest Armored Core fan group. They have like a Yahoo group. Yes, I know Yahoo groups. I already said before, I'm old, okay? Eventually that led to the creation or the mention of a forum. This forum was A3C. That was the introduction to Tearsin's forum. They said the forum was A3C. The forum dedicated to Armored Core fans just from the Midwest. We were from the Midwest. We ended up doing some gatherings in the Midwest scene. Anywhere between like 15 to 25 people would show up. We'd all look around our CRT TVs, our PS2s. Me and Ian went together. We got a FireWire hub and some FireWire cables to hook the PS2s together. And I did a few tournaments, starting back in SL, all the way through Last Raven in the Midwest scene. It was a ton of fun. After that all happened, I got introduced to Armored Core Online, or ACO. I got told about other forums of sites like Raven's Haven, AC Garage, the Raven Republic, and more. And let me tell you, between all of these sites and forums, most of which were very, very, very small, the biggest being Armored Core Online, the total number base was only a few thousand members in total between all these places. And honestly, that continued from another wage all the way from like 3rd, 4th, and 5th gen. I mean, I'm talking the fan base never got big than a few thousand people. And even the in-person tournaments were only like a few tens of people. I think the high one I ever saw in person was like around 30. I think Masters of California may have had bigger scenes. Obviously, Japan had way bigger things. That's a whole discussion for a whole nother day, how huge Armored Core is in Japan compared to the West. But I digress. But the total interactive player base on these forums was only ever a few thousand people, let alone tournaments being in person being a super small number. And as for online, as I was mentioning earlier with the forums, well, let's just say the toxicity of the AC fans has kind of just always been a thing. You see, the Armored Core community has always had a bad habit of gatekeeping and alienating new fans of the series. Whenever a new game or new gen would come out, they would hate on the changes. More on that later, by the way. They would hate any of the new fans who joined any of the sites. They hated the fact that they shared their ideas, hated the fact that they asked questions that were quote unquote dumb. They hate the fact that people showed interest in the new game, saying, oh, this game sucks, you should play the older games, they're better. Things like, you suck, you're a noob, there's no helping you, your build is stupid, your strategy is all wrong, you have no idea how to play the game, you just need to get good or get out, there's no place for new gen slop here, and on and on and on. And it was a pretty consistent thread on the forums. The reason I know so much about this is because I ended up becoming eventually an admin in Armored Core Online, and I had to help moderate a lot of this junk, and it was a constant thing. Even with when Chang came along later, from Chang with Armored Core Legacy, me, Zealous, Tearsin, and Chang were doing this thing. Like the same elitist gatekeeping problem. Same thing with new fans. Basically diminishing new fandom to the point where they just don't want to bother with the series anymore. It constantly happened. And with each new gen, the player base the forums just keep getting smaller. I mean, serious. There was a heyday in mid, 3rd gen, a little bit of early 4th gen, where these forums were really big. And then after each new game came out and new resets and new fans came in, it just kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And because anytime things would change, anytime something would happen, people would just hate on them, and they would hate on the people who got introduced in the new games because they dared enjoy a new Armored Core that wasn't what they wanted. So people wouldn't bother posting on the forums anymore because all they got was hate or flamed. AC community kind of became essentially was like one of the least inviting and least helpful thing to new players pretty much all the time in general on the forums. Now, as some people will point out, and it is fair that this is an oversimplification or generalization of the Armored Core community, because not everyone was like this. Not all the fans were like this, that's true. Not all the fans were like this. I personally was not like this, and I knew quite a few other people were not like this. However, there's always a loud minority of toxic fans in every fan base. It's normal. That's true. But here's the problem. The Armored Core community is so small and so niche that even that little bit of toxic, fandom is a problem. See, here this is how percentages or how fan bases kind of work. So if you have an Armored Core, let's say the Armored Core community, we're a few thousand, right? Let's go for a slightly bigger fan base. I'm not saying a lot bigger, just slightly bigger fan base. So let's say we go to a game. I don't remember. Just pick any game you want. Let's say their average interactive player base is like 100,000 players, right? And let's say of those 100,000 players, 5,000 of those players are toxic. That means only 5% of your entire player base is toxic. So that's not bad. You might notice them. That's kind of minor though. They mostly get ignored, and honestly, they don't have much effect on the game, the series, or the fan base. Now, let's say the fan base is, I'll be generous here, and let's say the fan base of the game is 20,000 people in Armored Core's instance, and let's still keep that same 5,000 toxic fan base membership. That number is still the same, meaning a quarter of the fan base is toxic. And that's exactly how it feels to be part of the AC community for the last 2 decades. It's something I have seen over and over again. It's overtly toxic. It's essentially semi-permanent mental trolls that rarely do anything good for new players who are looking for a community or looking for Armored Core info, and it's hard not to come across this persistent toxicity. It's been around for 20 years. It hasn't changed. Then AC6 came out, and it's From's best-selling AC ever, and a ton of new fans came into the series, and lo and behold, guess what happened? They got greeted with the same toxicity that's always been there, if not dialed up to 11. Honestly, I'm at the point where I'm just sick of it. Okay, listen. For those of you who are not like this is not for you. This is for the people who are constantly just hating on anything and everything related to Armored Core, essentially, that's new or new players. Look, this is you. Yeah, I'm talking to you right now. Ready? Those of you who endlessly mock or endlessly troll new fans or new things in the new series as not being real Armored Core fans or not being real Armored Core, you are the reason why the Armored Core community has never properly grown. You can blame the publishers all you want and how they do things in the West. I understand that's not good either. It's his own problem, his own case. But we had a chance to honestly do something on our own from a fan base or community perspective, and we didn't because people are like this. People don't want to bother, including game companies, don't want to bother interacting with our fan base for this reason. This is why we can't have nice things. All you are doing is harming the fan base and harming the future potential of the series franchise of fandom. By the way, so it's supposedly supposed to be your favorite game or favorite franchise, even though all you seem to do is hate on it. So my question is, why spend so much time constantly hating on something? Why? It's a waste of time. Your life should have so much more worth living for than just hating on something that you don't like. The constant droning and the constant vitriol that's thrown out is a waste of time and a waste of a life. If you hate something so much, go spend your time doing something else. That's not a hard concept. Go spend your time on something else you enjoy. Let the people who enjoy it, enjoy it. Someone else's enjoyment of something that you don't particularly like doesn't invalidate you in any way and doesn't lessen your quality of life. Just be better. Seriously, just be better. I feel like this shouldn't be a hard concept. Some people actually would like for this fandom to grow at some point. As someone who's been on the base level of a couple Armored Core communities, it is nightmare fuel trying to explain to people how insanely toxic and how insanely trolling and never-endingly just adolescent behavior there is in the Armored Core fandom, that it drives you nuts. And no matter what you do, you're just seen as overbearing and dictator and blah, 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 blah. Even though all we're trying to do is like, look, all we're asking is just be nice. Seriously, just be nice. All we're asking. And hey, let me reset here for a second. I went to full-blown forum moderator mode there just for a second. Let me reset here just for a second. All right, as I mentioned, just be Betty. Just be Betty. Ugh. Just be better. As I said, some people would actually like for the Armored Core series to grow. They'd like the fan base to grow. They'd like the community to grow. And see where things can go without people constantly grinding it down and its fan base to dust and seeing it just blown into the wind. And honestly, that's a pretty good metaphor for the AC community. Its base is just dust in the wind that's been blown out into the ether of non-existence. And it's like that because so many people who claim to love the series so much, all they ever do is hate on it and other players. If that is all you want to do with Armored Core, do yourself and everyone else a favor and go spend your time doing something else. It'll be more productive for you and for everyone. Okay, that's problem number one. There's one other problem. Problem number two. This isn't Armored Core. I feel like I've touched base on this one a fair amount before in other videos and other streams, but I think it's worth stating here a little more clearly. Armored Core 6 is Armored Core. You want to know how I know it's Armored Core? Because the people who make the game say it's Armored Core. Now, I realize that might be a little bit simplistic for some people, but the point still stands. We as fans don't get to decide what Armored Core is. From Software does. It is their game. They decide what it is. But this is not Armored Core hate fist, it's not new. People have been stating this is our Armored Core. They've ruined Armored Core. They need to change Armored Core back to how it was. Things like that have been said essentially since whenever new generation comes out. This is not a new argument. I've been seeing it for years. Let me give you some examples of some things that I can personally remember throughout the years that people have said in regards to Armored Core, not even including Armored Core 6. This is not going to include Armored Core 6. This is going to be just up through 5th gen. They have dual analog now. Tank controls show true skill. This is just to make it easier for new players. New controls make things too easy for noobs. Change it back, please. There's no op-buy or human plus option now. Why take that away? It's always been there. Is it really Armored Core without it? Part breaking is stupid. It never should have been added to the game. It ruins it. They got rid of part breaking. They just added it last game. Why remove it now? There's no more heat in this game. Game is too easy. There's a quick boost now. So there's a dodge button. Lame. Takes the skill out of the game. Things move way too fast now. This is a Gundam game, not Armored Core. Not everyone can just fire back cannons while flying and moving. What's even the point of having different leg types then? Stupid change for a stupid game. Why is there no FCS lockbox? This isn't Armored Core without a lockbox. You can quick turn now? What's the point of turn speed? The game is for scrubs. PA barrier is a stupid mechanic. Never should have been added. Scan mode? We have a scan mode now? And it alters gameplay? From needs to stop ruining AC with every new release. So, vertical movement is based on wall kicking. Nice. But this isn't Armored Core anymore, right? So there are more than that, and honestly, I think you get the point. I don't think I need to really add more, and like I said, I want this to be a 30-minute video. But every new generation of Armored Core has had these kind of same tired arguments get thrown out over and over and over again. Look, as evidenced by the Armored Core series itself, the game has changed a lot over the years. Gen 1 to Gen 3 is probably the most congruent or similar in feeling of each other. But man, even then, there are numerous changes in those gameplays that really affect how it functions. As an example, put someone who's ever only played, like, let's say Gen 1 or Master of Arena, and put them in front of Last Raven, they would be very much lost still, and it'd take them quite some time to get used to all the changes and how the game plays. People seem to have this inability to come to grips that the game keeps changing and evolving with every release. It was cool to hate on 4 and 4 Answer when it came out. Then when Verdict Day came out, it was cool to hate on it, and it was okay if you were, at that point, it was okay if you were an 4 Answer fan. But it was even cooler if you liked LR. Now with 6 out, you're based if you like 4th gen or 5th gen, and hating on AC6 is like the flavor of the month thing to do, essentially. Look, I get it. The game may do things you don't like or enjoy. There are things about Armored Core 6 that I don't like and I don't enjoy. There have been things in each generation that I don't like or I don't enjoy. I think most people admit there have been things in every generation that they didn't like or didn't enjoy. But just because I don't enjoy it something, or just because I don't like something about it, or it's not what I want it to be, doesn't mean that I get to decide that the series is ruined, or I don't get to declare that this is not Armored Core. The locksteppedness of the AC6 haters is comical. I've seen the same tired arguments for 2 decades now. I'm seeing the same thing now for 2 decades unfold before my very eyes. Look, if you prefer 3rd gen, good. Enjoy it. If you prefer 4th gen, good, enjoy it. If you enjoy 5th gen, good, enjoy it. And even if you enjoy 6th gen, or prefer it even, good, enjoy it. Let people just enjoy what they enjoy. AC6's existence should not diminish your enjoyment of an early gen game. And just because AC6 is not like 3rd gen, or not like 4th gen, or not like 5th gen, does not automatically make it bad. Every generation has had its strengths and its weaknesses. Not every generation is for everyone. And that's the beauty of it, to be honest with you. There's something different for every person out there for different playstyles. Look, for me, you realize my personal favorite is Armored Core Nexus, and that game has some wild stuff in it. So I know a lot of people really hated Nexus, but I personally love it for a variety of reasons. In fact, watch this video. It explains why I like it so much. I know I personally enjoyed my time playing Armored Core 6. I still, to this day, I still enjoy it. That hasn't really changed. But just because AC6 is not exactly what you wanted it to be, does not make it bad, or does not make it armored, not Armored Core. So I encourage all you haters out there, seriously, just go do something else. It's probably better for everyone anyways, including yourself. And to all you AC6 fans out there, especially new fans of the series, just keep enjoying what you enjoy. And I'll encourage you, maybe even try out some of the older games in the series. You might find you really enjoy them too. All right, rant done. I hope that was worth your time. For those of you that spent the time to actually watch it all, feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section below, whether you agree with me or not. You're allowed to disagree with me. That's kind of the whole point of this thing. Is like I'm for a variety of opinions instead of just echo chambering all the hate. So I think there's a chance for both. So by all means, go in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Or I'm curious to see what you feel. I have a special stream coming up here next week on Monday, April 21st. It's for my birthday. It actually is my birthday. So I'll be doing a special daytime stream I don't normally get to do because I took the day off from work. And so yeah, there'll be lots of Armored Core stuff going on there. So I hope you get to be a part of it. And if you don't mind, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It's free and it helps me out. So is liking the video. Liking the video also helps me out a lot, as is leaving a comment. And like I said, it's free and it helps me out. Special shout out to all my paid subscribers. Thank you so much for thinking I'm worth your hard-earned money. I know money's tight for a lot of people right now, and so I do not take that for granted. I thank you so much for that. So that's it. That's the rants. That's the problems. That's my perspective on it. Hope it gets some people to like. Honestly, it's probably a waste of time for those who are hating on it, because they're probably be like, they're just gonna hate on it more. But you know, whatever. I'm just doing my part to try to make things better. Literally all I'm trying to do. All right, this is Cleric signing off.